We decided on Friday night we were going to go back. And I wasn't too freaked out. I was driving because I knew, I drove once, I freaked out once. It was going to be okay. I've been there before. We went during the day. I knew that I would stay longer than anybody else, and I had the control on how long we were going to stay.
We started off, and I had Angela sitting on my lap, and Jason to my right, and Stephanie to my left in the back seat, where I'd called the hump, so I could be surrounded by people because I was slightly afraid.
I fact that all day that day I had nothing but bad feelings, like something bad was going to happen, like my car was going to be wrecked, or just something was going to happen.
And that night was different than Thursday night because that night, the ground was wet from it raining previously in the day, like it had recently rained. So it was very overcast. It was very dark, like no moonlight.
It was really dark outside, like darker than any normal night.
We hit the road and getting fairly freaked out because it's a scary, dark, wooded road, and there's not a whole lot of light. It's a cloudy night, kind of the worst circumstances you could ever hope for.
We had an audio tape sitting on the dashboard. We had Elizabeth, who was in the passenger seat, videotaping with the videotape. And we had cameras, still pictures ready, but we didn't actually take any.
So we just turned onto the road, and all of a sudden I just felt this really ridiculous calm throughout my entire body, as if like I had no fear, no basic emotion in general.
But then we turn around and we go into the tunnel. We turn the car off, put it in neutral.
I decided it's time to pull my hat down. I put my hat down on Angie's back and just kind of closed my eyes and just kind of listened for anything that's going on.
And we had everything ready. We got under the bridge. We turned the car off. I put it in neutral, turned the lights off, and we moved back probably about 20 feet, 15, 20 feet.
And we started to roll back, and he was like, we're rolling back, we're rolling back. I was like, no, it's okay, it's okay. I was like, because this is exactly what happened during the day. So, this is natural, we're going to stop, and we're going to stop in a second. And we did.
And then we sat. And it was about, I want to say about a minute, but like I said, I was completely calm and had my eyes closed because I just felt I needed to.
My eyes were like wide open. Like I was more curious than I was scared or terrified at all.
I don't know if it was just I didn't want to look anywhere else. I just looked straight ahead. I wasn't going to look anywhere else.
And I was just sitting with the camera like this, just facing out the window. And at first I was just looking directly down towards like the ashtray.
And the first thing I remember hearing was Elizabeth starting to get a little nervous.
I could feel like a pressure or like a force on the front part of the camera, and it caused my arm to tilt down about that much. So I picked it back up, and it tilted down again. And I thought maybe it was because maybe my arm was tired, or maybe I was just nervous. I didn't know, but I handle these cameras all the time. And so it happened 3 or 4 times before I actually said anything about it.
And then I heard Elizabeth say, we need to do something different. Once I heard that, I turned the car on. What do you want me to do? That's what I asked her. What do you want me to do?
All I wanted to do was go, but I just said, I don't know. I just want to do something different, something that wasn't in that area that I was in where this was happening to me, because it felt wrong. It felt bad. I didn't want to be there anymore.
And the next thing I know, the car's starting. Elizabeth says, it's time to do something different. We need to get out of here.
So when Elizabeth said that, I was just like I kind of feel bad for saying this, but since I was more curious than terrified, I was like, what are you doing? No, you're going to ruin this. And anyway, Dave's like, well, what should I do? Should I beat the horn? Should I move backward? And I'm thinking in my mind, I was like, beat the horn, do something. We're about ready to leave, so we got to get the most we can out of this.
It was no sooner was I just kind of trying to mumble out what I was trying to say. It almost seemed to me that Dave looked up out of the windshield, and he yelled, and then he floored it out of the tunnel.
Reverse?
No, just do something different.
Okay. Ah! Shit, no, shit. Come on.
I turned the car on, and I put it into drive, and I had this burning sensation. It just went straight through from here all the way down in to like the middle of my chest. And it was, I had no idea what was going on. At that time it was just a whoa, like almost in shock. So I just floored it, and I just wanted to get away from there as fast as I could.
All I could say was, Dave, don't wreck my car.
Ends up fishtailing out of the tunnel, and probably goes 40 to 50 miles per hour down this road till we get to 42.
I'm still in the back seat. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? What are you doing? It's like, you didn't even beat the horn.
And as we're driving, I asked Elizabeth, because I definitely felt something. I asked her, because she was, I wanted to know why she first decided to leave. She said, I asked her, did it get you too?
And it was at that point that I knew that what I felt wasn't me as much as I wanted to tell myself that it was.
I make my way up towards Elizabeth and Dave and see what's going on, and I notice Elizabeth is almost in a state of shock, looking forward, just kind of crying, and Dave has a look of absolute terror on his face.
I really couldn't think of how I felt. I mean, we've got the 4 people in the back seat saying, slow down, don't wreck the car, and all I could think of was, we're not going fast enough.
As we come back, I remember saying that, if there's a mark on anybody, I'm going to lose it. And as we come into the senior apartments, I walk upstairs with Elizabeth to make sure she's doing all right, and Angie and Jason stay downstairs with Dave.
They kept Dave downstairs, and I just came straight up to the room, and Cliff sat with me, and I was just shaking uncontrollably. And the thought crossed my mind that maybe I was going to be messed up and actually need psychiatric care. I've never been more terrified in my entire life of something that I didn't know what I was scared of.
I wasn't the first one out of the car, but when I got out, I saw Dave, leaning up against the car, and I go up to him, and the first thing I tell him, I was like, dude, show me where it hit you, what happened. Because again, I'm still thinking that something just tapped Dave. And then he lifted up his shirt, and it was blatant. It was huge.
And I looked at my side, and I had a big scratch across my chest. I just froze. I didn't know what to do. It's just the fact that something that I couldn't see physically got to me. Physically was making me bleed. Is the most messed up thing ever.
As they come back up, they take him into the bathroom, and I tried to follow because I wanted to make sure everything was all right, and they kind of locked me out. And that's when I kind of realized that something had happened. And after my last comment, they were trying to protect me, afraid of what my reaction would be to him having marks on him.